Hey, what's up, everyone? I have been wanting to share about my dream that I had in 2010. This dream was extremely life-changing for me, okay? Life-changing enough to where I'm simply getting on a camera, my phone camera, and myself talking to you guys. That's why I'm kind of looking this way, because I feel like I look better on this side. Enough rambling. In my dream, okay, first of all, I never knew anything about like soulmates or anything like, I mean, I knew about soulmates, but like, not really. I'm painting my nails if you guys are wondering. It's better than just sitting here looking at myself. You know, it's kind of awkward for me at the moment. But in my dream, I was running from the end of the world, and I was really scared. I was terrified, actually. These skinwalker things, this is in 2010, before this was all over the internet, all over YouTube. They were chasing me, and all of the animals in the world were running as well. So they were stampeding next to me. And I was in the mountains. You know, I live somewhere where there's lots of pine trees. I live in Washington. And mountains. And I actually lived in the mountains after I had this dream, which is so strange. I was living in Bellevue, Washington when I had this dream. This is 13 years ago. So I dreamed that I'm running from the end of the world, which means everybody's gone. It's just me, and they want me. They want to eat me. They have been looking for me, and they have found me, and it took them everybody in the entire world until they found me. I noticed that someone is in the river, and I'm like, oh my goodness, thank goodness. I am not the only one left in the world. And it was a guy, and this river was very active. It was like splashing. It looked like the current was really strong. It was practically all white on top of the river. And he yelled out my name, Natalie. And I'm like, oh my goodness, thank goodness. And he said, jump in the river, you know, this way. This is the way out. And I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yes, trust me. And I didn't know him. And I was like, okay. And so I jumped because I was terrified of those things eating me. And the river seemed a lot better than that. So I swam to him, into his arms. And it was weird because the current was so strong, but he was able to stay there until I jumped in. And then he said, do you see that whirlpool over there? And I'm like, yeah. And you know, like the tornado in the water. And it's like the drain in your bathtub. This light is really bright. Oh, it's like, oh my gosh. Oh, so much better. Okay. He said, we need to swim to that. That's our way out. And I was like, okay, well, it's gonna like pull us under. And he's like, just trust me. I'm like, okay. So we're swimming, you know, and just water's kicking up in my face. I can barely breathe. These lashes hurt your eyes. I cannot wait till my new lashes get in the mail. Oh my gosh. Ugh. I'm surviving here. We swim to that thing and it shoots us up. So all of a sudden it's like this really strong spout. So that water spout shoots us all the way out into the atmosphere, and we are in the cosmics. And it's like as soon as we left Earth, we were in our like cosmic bodies. Everything was so real, which is weird because I've never been on top of, you know, a huge body of water that just spouts up into, you know, outer space. And now I'm there, and I've never seen anything like this in my life. No movies, no nothing, where, you know, we are all of a sudden light beings. I had no facial features. I did have hands, but no nails or wrinkles. It was like a light body, no hair. I was bald, and I was like the color of a light bulb, like an orange light bulb behind me. And the guy was blue. He was like glowing blue, and he was bald, and like his light body was more masculine. It was like buff, but no muscle definition, just kind of like the shape of it. I need my water. Refreshing. Okay, so we are sitting cross-legged. Oh God, someone's here. That scared the shit out of me. I'll wait until he comes in the door. Hey babe, I'm right in the middle of my story, okay? I'm right in the middle of my story. We were in our light bodies. I'm, you know, the color orange. He's blue. And we have this, like, glowing cord connected to my belly button and to his. And it was like every fear, every memory, anything from the past or any anxiety of the future was all wiped away. And I was in this like very peaceful state. And I definitely never wanted to leave. I was just so happy to be out of Earth, because it was very terrifying what was going on before I left. And so, you know, I didn't have any memory of like anybody that I knew on Earth whatsoever. I didn't even have a name. It was just very present. There was no future or past. It was all basically finished. It just was. And so I'm sitting there with the guy that I, you know, now have an umbilical cord connecting us. And we're looking at the Earth, you know, and I'm thinking, and all of a sudden I know that there are people left on Earth. In my dream, I didn't know. I thought I was the last one. It was very terrifying. But when we're sitting up there, we're looking at Earth, and I'm feeling so, you know, relieved to be out of there. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, you know, that place is horrible, and those people are suffering, and I definitely don't want to go back. That was so scary. And that's the only thing that I really kind of knew. But we were sitting there in a peaceful, like, presence, and there was nothing that I needed. I didn't need to worry about what time I needed to go to bed, or, you know, eating food or going to the bathroom. Nothing. There was no need. It was very calm and happy, and I felt love. No hate, no sadness. And so we're sitting there, and he has this stopwatch, and it's like an old grandfather one. You know, it's like as if it was handed down from, you know, grandfather to son and things like that. And so he's sitting there watching it very, very closely. And all of a sudden, you know, this big bright light behind me to my right, he's very far away. It was like a mixture. It wasn't a female's voice or a male's voice. It was very much both. And yeah, it's hard to explain, but it was a very bright light, beautiful, beautiful light. And I could hear him talking to me, even though he wasn't next to me. He was very far away, and it was telepathic, because obviously we don't have mouths or anything. And he's saying, you have to go back. And I was like, no way, I'm not going back there. I'm staying here. This is amazing. I never want to leave. It's crazy down there. Like, it's horrible. It's just, no way. I can't go back there. It's exhausting, and I'm not exhausted anymore. I'm just relieved of even being tired or just anything. I didn't feel tired. I didn't feel anything. I felt happy, and that's it. And so he's like, I know. He's like, but, you know, this time, when you go back, at least you're going to have a mom, and she's going to pray for you, and she'll never give up on praying for you. And she's also going to sing to you when you're a baby. and her name is going to be Mary. And when he said that, I was kind of like, oh, that sounds pretty amazing, the singing part and being a baby again. But I was like, I still wasn't convinced at all. I was like, no, no, no. And I was arguing. And, the bright light was not arguing or forcing me, but really empathetic, knowing that when I come back again, it's going to be a really hard life. And I'm going to be alone a lot of the time, and a lot of things are going to be taken from me, and I'm going to be taken advantage of a lot. And he was just warning me of all of these things gracefully, because he didn't want to set me up and act like, oh, just pay me, sugarcoat it, or sell me something, And so the light being next to me, he was paying attention to the watch, the clock, and as I'm arguing, I already know he's very focused on this watch, because if he even looks away for 1 second and looks back at it again, years would have gone by on Earth. And he's trying to make it to Earth on time for something. And time was very important, which was his birth. He wanted to have his mom to have it, no complications during birth and things like that. Anyways, so God said, this is going to be your guys' last time, I promise. But you guys have signed a contract and you have to go back because you're going to help a lot of people. And when he said that, I felt kind of offended, because I'm like, how am I going to help anyone when every time I go there, it's like as if I'm the one who needs to help the most? And he's like, this is all for a greater purpose. And I know it seems, strange, but I promise you're going to help a lot of people, and you're really doing a good job, and I'm very proud of you, and things like that. And so I was just like, oh gosh, no, please don't make me go back. And all of a sudden, the person next to me with the umbilical cord jumps in, and shortly after, I get pulled in because we're connected. Now, there's a little detail that I forgot to mention. The whole time that we are having this conversation with, obviously, God, the creator of all things, Jesus, King of Kings, there's like this green entity, and he wasn't glowing or anything. He was like a green lizard reptilian that could like fly around and follow me everywhere I went. And I was scared of him on Earth until I went up in outer space, and I was like, please, like you'll never find out what we're trying to do, and you'll never destroy it. It's, like I wasn't worried about that thing. And so anyways, he was just kind of like, I hope I hear something. And we weren't inviting him into our telepathic conversation. And so he was completely blocked out of what we were talking about. But it's not really talking. It was like, I don't know, communicating. And so anyways, I get pulled back into the earth, and then I'm flying back down. I no longer see that person that I was connected to before I left, and in outer space. Didn't get to say goodbye to the light that was kindly forcing me to come back. And I'm just getting hit with all this air, just falling so fast. And I wasn't scared. It's like as if I have done that many times before. And then I see the roof, like the tiles on the roof of an apartment. It was like a blue apartment. And I go through the roof, and I see my little baby body sitting on the carpet, and my mom's doing the dishes right next to the living room. And I'm playing with my toys, and I poof into my body. So basically, after I had this dream, I was so moved by it, and I couldn't stop thinking about it, because when I woke up, I was extremely sad that I was here. To go from that feeling of complete I don't know how to explain it. Just no need of anything. There was no need to waking up to needing to get up and use the restroom and make breakfast and things like that. It was just like, oh my gosh, like so enjoyable compared to where I was just in that small moment. And to be in communication with that light was really everything to me in my dream. It was like as if it was myself in a way. And yeah, it was like a parent or something. And also, strangely, the person that I'm connected to, we weren't like, it was very much feminine and then masculine. And like we were on a mission, but we were kind of like annoyed with each other at this time because we knew what was to come. Like twin flames, that's what I've come up with trying to figure out my dream. It was absolutely mind shocking when I would look up soulmates and couldn't find anything about my dream. So I'm like, like a contract, soulmates, glowing light bodies, umbilical cord, in the cosmics, looking at Earth. I Googled all of that, and then it said twin flames, and I'm passing through it because I'm like, no, like, what's that? And so I'm like, oh, well, I'll just hit images on Google search. And that's where I saw everything that was exactly like my dream. So many things that I have literally downloaded them on my Google photos from 2010. And they're still there. And also I would post them on my Facebook, but not until like 5 years later when, because I kind of forgot about that dream and then couldn't stop thinking about it at all. And then finally, in I think 2011, 2012 is when I Googled it. And then the next guy that I dated in 2013 and 14, I thought he was my twin flame, and he was actually my karmic. But because he was bald and buff, like the light being that I was with, that's what I wanted and that's what I was looking for. So I will continue my story in the next video. It's going to be a lot of different things that I've been through that have led me to, just everything. And I'm so excited to share it with you guys. And yeah, I don't have anything prophetic to say about anything other than, my own truths, which is, just my testimonials. Those are my truths and my spirituality. For me, I have always believed in Jesus. He has a lot to do with this, and the Holy Bible does as well. And I cannot wait to share it with you guys. I'm not some perfect, had a good life, and you guys will get to know all of that. And I still struggle with, things. So I love to share. So can't wait to share my next story, and have a beautiful day.